Denn das Heer der waffenträgenden Nation ist und müsst ihr sein, der Willensträger, der politisch gestaltende Willensträger der deutschen Nation.
Hitler was warning Rome's stormtroopers that their task was not to challenge the German army. What was needed now was brains, not brawn. Rome's ambition to replace the German army with a stormtroop militia Rome and 16 of his most senior leaders. The German army was overjoyed, but at the very moment in which the stormtroop threat was removed, an even more dangerous and ruthless force in Nazi politics had emerged. As a reward for its role in the emasculation of the stormtroopers, the SS was made an independent formation of the Nazi Party in July 1934, and Himmler became Reich leader of the SS. The SS men who took part in the Night of the Long Knives were presented with a dagger, on the blade of which was engraved Himmler's heartfelt thanks. With its newfound independence, the SS began to consolidate its power base and to make a reality out of Himmler's dream of combining SS, police, and concentration camps in one all-powerful state protection corps. Himmler had to gain control of the ultra-conservative German police because this would give his party organization an air of legality and the executive powers which the SS lacked. Himmler also needed an armed force which was exclusively at the disposal of the Nazi Party to carry out such political tasks as may be allotted to the SS by the Führer. After the Night of the Long Knives, the SS took over all the concentration camps. By 1935, 7 main camps had been established with 9,000 inmates. At first, Dachau was no different from the other rudimentary concentration camps housed in disused factories. The first SS guards were drawn from the ranks of the unemployed. Conditions were so bad, and the publicity surrounding Dachau camp so damaging to the reputation of the SS, that Himmler had to sack its first commander. In his place, he appointed the former police official, Theodor Eicke. Eicke began to reorganize Dachau camp and to draft brutal new regulations for both guards and inmates. He invented the slogan, "Work sets you free." He advised his men that sympathy was a sign of weakness and there was no place in the SS for men with soft hearts, and any such would do well to retire to a monastery. Hermann Langbein spent 2 years in Eicke's model camp.
Diese Eicke-Schule hat sich so ausgewirkt.
The Eicke school had the effect of encouraging people to commit acts of brutality.
Es war ein Prinzip vom Eicke.
It was one of Eicke's principles that the people behind the barbed wire were enemies, they're not people, they're subhuman and must be treated like vermin.
Prügelstrafe hat eingeführt und hat eingeführt, dass bei der...
He introduced a system of beatings and introduced the practice whereby SS-men had to watch the beatings so that they'd be toughened up, as he put it. He made sure that all those present took part in the beatings so that they took it in turns. And the SS-men who stood the test of the Eicke school were sent as functionaries to the other concentration camps. There's hardly a concentration camp commandant or a leader of the so-called protective custody compound who didn't come from Eicke's Dachau school.